Tonight, students rally at the state capitol for higher education.
Plus an unlikely auction on campus. Stay tuned. TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
From the high-definition digital production center on the Troy campus, with news from Troy University locations around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Nightly News for March 1st, 2012. I'm Judson Garner.
And I'm Bailey Majors. Thank you for joining us this evening. Hundreds of college students from all over the state of Alabama converged on the State House steps to rally for fair funding for public universities at the annual Higher Education Day rally. Courtney Still gives us a report of the day's events from Montgomery.
13 colleges and universities rallied at the footsteps of the Alabama State House to gain support for fair funding during Higher Education Day Thursday afternoon.
They have an inadequate budget right now with the Education Trust Fund, and K through 12, along with the junior colleges, gets most of that funding, and the rest just goes over to the universities to split, and that's just not right.
Hundreds of students from across the state united for the purpose of showing legislators that they are serious about their money and want their share of the budget.
You guys want us to be competitive with the other states surrounding us, but at the same time, we're paying more and more tuition, and because of that, you have less students graduating, one, and then two, you have more students prolonging graduation, which is not right.
Gordon Stone said the most important message for students to remember is that this is not just one big event. It is a kickoff event for better things to come. He was also excited about the support that was shown by the speakers at the rally.
Really significant that every one of the speakers made the comment that they believed that 1/3, 2/3 was important, that they were committed to making sure that Alabama used a formula for dividing up the Education Trust Fund dollars that was equitable.
Lassiter was also a speaker at the rally and brought up recent comments by President Obama on the level of importance that states put on education in their budgets.
But I agree with our president when he says that nothing more clearly signals what you value as a state than the decisions you make and where you invest. Budgets are all about choices.
150,000 votes. That's how many votes they say are represented in Alabama's colleges and universities. While voting is important, Stone says it's just as crucial as students that were here get in contact with their representatives at the State House.
Get involved. Talk to your local member of the House. Get to know who your House member and your senator is. Find out how to get in touch with the governor's office. Send them a message and say, hey, I'm a student at Troy. We know that you understand universities, but we want you not just to understand them, but vote for them.
2/3! 1/3! 1/3!
Courtney Still, Troy, TrojanVision News.
This was the 14th year the Higher Education Partnership has put on the Higher Ed Day rally.
And a large part of that crowd in Montgomery were wearing their Cardinal t-shirts proudly in support of higher education and their home university, Troy. Every year, Troy makes sure a big group makes it up to the rally. Make way because angry college students are on the loose. Well, not exactly, but they marched to the Capitol today with a serious complaint. Tuition has been steadily increasing for universities across the state for years now. Much of this increase has been blamed on the lack of state funding, and these students are not happy about it.
It's not justified that our tuition is increasing just to make up for this lack of funding.
We don't get the chance to go to school as much and take as many hours and do as good as we can do because it keeps costing more and more every semester that we go.
I feel that everyone expresses that they want us to have higher education, but we need the funding to do that.
State school funding has been a big issue in Alabama, and not all students walked away from the rally completely agreeing with everything that was said.
I don't agree with what was said about that we need to cut some funds from K through 12 because I think that that's the more important learning years.
You hear more and more that it's necessary to get a higher education degree in order to be successful, but for some Troy students, financially, that's becoming increasingly difficult.
It's important, it is hard to get a job, like you said, without having a university degree, and they're even pushing graduate degrees, not only undergraduate but graduate degrees. And I really hate to see it discourage students from coming to our universities just because the tuition is increasing.
Nowadays, it's impossible really to get a job without any higher education degree, so it's vital basically.
I see the stuff around me and I see how people who have educations, how they do better in life, and people who don't have educations tend to not be able to do as much, and it's just because they couldn't afford it, or they just weren't able to have that opportunity.
Although skipping class might have been a perk, students took pride in representing their school on the Capitol steps today.
I'm here for my school. We have a lot of energy, so we're just here to, help support our school and other schools as well. And not only me, other people are also dealing with financial issues, and we're just happy to be here and stand for what we believe in.
Okay. Organizers estimate close to 200 Troy students traveled to Montgomery to take part in the rally. Well, Bailey, last night, Troy University had an auction on campus.
That's right, Judson, but instead of auctioning off items, students were able to bid on some lovely ladies. Jamarla Phillips has more.
Wednesday night, Troy University Activities Council held an event open to all students. Bachelorette Date Night gave male students the opportunity to place a bid on one of the many female contestants. One UAC representative says overall, the event was very enjoyable.
Tonight was the University Activities Council of the UAC Bachelorette Date Night. Really all for the past couple weeks been like trying to get girls to come and sign up, and we'll have guys come out and we'll give them like fake Monopoly money to bid on it, and the earlier you got here, the more money you got, so that way we'll just even play for everybody, so some people have more money than others. And we did this last year with the guys, and so every week we kind of flip-flop back and forth between guys getting bid on and girls getting bid on, and I think it was a great time tonight. I think a lot of people had a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was really nerve-wracking getting up there and wondering who's going to bid on you, but I had a lot of support from my sisters, and I really enjoyed it.
While the event consisted of mainly female contestants, one student says he agreed to join just to spice up the fun.
Tonight, I got here at like 6 o'clock, and Jessica mentioned that they thought it'd be funny for a guy to be in it, and I said I'd do it. And Sarah went and got some clothes and came back, and I ended up dressing up and walking out as a cross-dresser and got bid up. I thought it was really fun. I've done women's beauty pageants before, but this was a little different, getting bid on.
Jamarlo Phillips, Troy, TrojanVision News.
The next UAC event will be Dollar Movie Night next Wednesday, March 7th.
And now taking a look at news from around the state, Alabama prosecutors say they are filing capital murder charges, which carries the possibility of the death penalty against a grandmother accused of running her 9-year-old daughter to death as punishment. Etowah County authorities announced the decision today during a bond hearing for 46-year-old Joyce Garrett.
The Poet Creek Band of Creek Indians has donated $2 million to 2 Alabama school systems. Tribal officials said in a statement they decided to make the donations in January after the state's public schools faced budget cuts and continue to struggle with financial woes. The $2 million will be divided equally between the Elmore County and Montgomery County public school systems.
U.S. Coast Guard officials say they've begun the process of lifting a submerged helicopter from the floor of the Mobile Bay to surface as they continue searching for 3 missing crew members. Petty Officer Bill Kokloff said this morning that the effort started between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. Rescue crews have said they needed to raise the helicopter's fuselage to gain access to it and find out whether the crew members are inside or somewhere at sea.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the football schedule for the 2012 season has been released. Tiffany Lester will be in Nexus Sports for all the details for all you sports fans.
But first, tornadoes have struck in Illinois, devastating a small town. We'll have more after the break.
Underway after deadly storms sweep through the Midwest, and residents are bracing for another possible round on Friday. I'm Terrell Brown in Ridgeway, Illinois. The latest coming up.
Hi, I'm Mia Hamm. As a professional soccer player, I know how rewarding sports can be and how quickly injuries happen. So I've teamed up with the American Association of Orthodontists to ask athletes to play it safe. With my years of training, I know what it takes to become an expert, and orthodontists do too. They're the experts who help people obtain healthy, beautiful smiles. Wear mouthguards, face masks, and helmets to prevent injuries. Keep smiling and visit braces.org.
If you can learn one thing in life, especially if you go into business, it's how to communicate and how to work with others. And I do think Troy taught me that.
Troy reaches out to people who they see their commitment to public service.
Troy just attracts students that want to give back to the community, that want to give back all across the world.
We want to educate the mind to think, the heart to feel, the
body to act. We want to enable our students to go out into this world and make a difference.
Troy University, in class, online, within reach. Troy.edu.
From the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
And now for a look at what's happening across the nation and around the world, we'll go to Judson Garner at the Global News Desk. Judson?
Thanks, Bailey. Residents in the center of the country are bracing themselves for another round of violent storms. The last weather system brought at least 27 tornadoes. Some of them are deadly. Terrell Brown is in the small town of Ridgway, Illinois, that lost a community treasure.
The thick brick walls of St. Joseph Catholic Church were no match for the 200-mile-an-hour winds that roared through Ridgway, Illinois.
History and God's hands have took care of it all these years, and I guess it was time for it to go.
Martha Sparr's father and grandfather helped build the church. It's weathered many storms. Today, the cleanup crew salvaged the bell and presented Sparr with one of the building's bricks.
I've got a brick from St. Joe's Church, which I'm going to cherish the rest of my life.
Church members here in Ridgway are determined to rebuild, starting with the front doors and the marble altar. Wednesday's tornado left both of them untouched. Cold Rocky Mountain air colliding with warm, wet Midwestern weather spawned at least 27 tornadoes Wednesday. They stretched from Kansas to Tennessee and over a period of 24 hours, killed at least 12 people and injured hundreds. The largest, an EF4, leveled much of Harrisburg, Illinois. An EF2 tornado hit the country music mecca of Branson, Missouri. It wrecked parts of the town, but there were no fatalities. Residents credit the 35-minute warning from a new radar technology called dual polarization. It sends out both horizontal and vertical pulses that can pinpoint tornadoes more accurately.
With dual polarization, we're going to know that that's debris and that that's a tornado.
44 dual polarization radars are in place nationwide, and 160 will be by year's end. Residents hope they won't need another warning. More bad weather is expected Friday. Terrell Brown, CBS News, Ridgway, Illinois.
President Obama joined the GOP candidates vying to replace him on the campaign trail today. The president is on the road touting his record and raising some campaign cash. Inez Farral has the story.
President Obama checked out the engines at a New Hampshire community college auto lab. The president says on his watch, fuel efficiency and oil production are up.
Under my administration, America is producing more oil today than at any time in the last 8 years.
But the Republican presidential candidates are quick to point out that gas prices are on the rise.
This is a president who does not understand energy. He is the problem. He is not the solution. It's time to get him out of office and get someone in who will get us energy secure.
Mitt Romney and the other GOP candidates are hitting the states that will vote on Super Tuesday, contests that will help decide who faces President Obama in the fall.
Whoever becomes the Republican nominee will need money, and a lot of it. After his trip to New Hampshire, President Obama arrived here in New York City, where he's headlining 4 fundraisers.
Supporters are paying up to $35,000 to meet the president. Overall, his re-election campaign is expected to raise around $1 billion. Romney has shown he can raise campaign cash, but the other candidates lag far behind. Rick Santorum says trying to outspend President Obama will be a losing strategy.
Good luck doing that in the general election. It's not a winning formula. What's a winning formula is having better ideas, motivating the base of the Republican Party.
Outside groups called super PACs that can give unlimited cash have been helping the candidates wage their primary battle. President Obama has one supporting him too. Inez Farray, CBS News, New York.
And that'll wrap things up from the Global News Desk. To see more stories from across the country and around the world, you can tune in to Trojan Vision Global News right after the nightly news. Now back to you, Bailey.
Thank you, Judson. And now Tiffany Lester joins us with sports. So Tiffany, basketball season isn't quite over, but I know that we're already kind of getting excited for the upcoming football season.
That's right. We do still have some basketball tournament games for both men and women. But we are looking forward to the 2012 football season as the schedule has been released, and I'll give you and everyone else all those details right now. As I said, for all of you Trojan football fans out there, the 2012 football schedule has been released. This season is highlighted by a record 6 home games and a nationally televised game on ESPNU. The 6 home games are the most since Troy moved up to the football bowl division in 2001. Troy opens the season on September 1st in Birmingham against UAB at Legion Field. And Troy's home opener is against no other than the defending New Orleans Bowl champion, Louisiana Lafayette, on September the 8th. The Trojans will then host their first ever opponent from the Southeastern Conference the following week when Mississippi State comes to Veterans Memorial Stadium on September 15th. The Trojans and the Hilltoppers meet for a nationally televised contest on ESPNU on October the 11th. The Trojans will travel up to Knoxville for a showdown with Tennessee on November 3rd. Navy will visit Troy on November 10th. Defending Sunbelt champion Arkansas State will close out the 2012 home schedule with a trip to Troy on November 17th. And the annual battle for the Palladium against Middle Tennessee will come out the regular season schedule on November 24th in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. For more info on the schedule or how to buy tickets, you can check out the athletics website at TroyTrojans.com. The Troy baseball team hits the road for a 3-game series against an NCAA tournament team from a year ago for the second straight weekend. After playing 3 games at Southern Miss last weekend, the Trojans travel to Daytona Beach, Florida for a non-conference series against Bethune-Cookman this weekend. Senior outfielder Boone Shear says that even though the road hasn't been kind to the Trojans this season, they hope their visit to the Sunshine State will brighten things up.
Bethune's always got a great team, and but we're looking forward to the challenge, and we got to learn to win on the road. We haven't been playing well on the road in the past year, so definitely a true test for us, and we're looking forward to it.
First pitch is scheduled for 5 p.m. Central Time on Friday, and both games on Saturday and Sunday start at noon. And some may know that the men's basketball team already has one Mo, but at the end of the season, some may not know that they picked up another. This time, Mo stands for momentum. As they head into this year's Sunbelt Championships, the Trojans are coming off a two-game winning streak on the road. And as head coach Don Maestri says, this is a good streak, is a good thing, but as always, nothing is guaranteed.
I think it's given us a little momentum. It doesn't guarantee anything because, as I've said before, we've struggled all year. But winning the last 2 games before you go into the tournament couldn't be anything but a positive. But we still have to play South Alabama, who beat us twice already this year. So we've got a big challenge on our hand, just having to play South Alabama.
The Trojans and Jaguars are set to tip off at 6 on Saturday night at Summit Arena in Hot Springs, Arkansas. The contest between the two in-state rivals will mark the first game of the 2012 Sunbelt Men's Basketball Championships. The Troy women's basketball team will travel this weekend to take on the University of North Texas in the first round of the Sunbelt Tournament. The Trojans fought hard in their last game of the season against FAU last Saturday and even went on a 5-0 run at the end of the first half, but they couldn't quite overcome the pressure from the Owls in the second. After the close loss, head coach Mike Murphy says that balance will be key to winning against the Mean Green.
And if we get balanced scoring like we had this week, especially at FAU, 7 different players making 3, we have a great chance. If we have balanced scoring, if we don't, it puts a lot of pressure on your defense, and you have to be perfect, and that's hard to do.
The Trojans are set to hit the hardwood at 2:30 Saturday afternoon in Hot Springs, Arkansas. So, Bailey, Justin, we just wish the basketball teams, both of them, just a lot of luck in winning in the tournaments and in the championships, as well as the baseball team in going into their weekend and play.
Absolutely. Best of luck to both of them, and we're definitely looking forward to the football season.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
All right, thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Tiffany. Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, Aaron Taylor learns a little bit more about a Civil War forum on campus.
But first, we've had a rainy day, but we need our umbrellas tomorrow. Courtney?
Well, Bailey, it may be time to put that umbrella away, but just for the day. But I'll have more on that coming up in weather.
from the high-definition digital production studios of Troy University, you're watching the award-winning TrojanVision Nightly News.
Now Courtney Addison joins us for a look at weather.
So Courtney, it was pretty warm all out today. It was pretty consistent, and then we saw some showers earlier in the day. What's this weekend going to look like?
Well, it may not be time to put that rain gear away just yet. I'd keep that umbrella and my rain boots on hand for the weekend. Right. But first, let's take a look at our campus snapshot. Looking at our campus snapshot, we see the sun is setting on Troy's campus. A windy day outside, not much action going on the quad. Just enjoy the last little bit of sunshine that we do have. And looking at our current conditions, we have cloudy skies, temperature coming in at 68, dew point at 65, humidity at 90%, barometer at 29.91 inches and falling, winds coming in from the south-southwest at 10 miles per hour. Today's stats, we had a high of 73 with a low of 63. There was about 0.24 inches of rain. Sun rose this morning at 6:09 a.m. and the sun should set at 5:43. And taking a look at temperatures from around the state, we see most everyone is experiencing those very warm temperatures in the high 60s and the mid 70s. We see Mobile coming in at 78, Birmingham at 75, Montgomery at 70, Troy at 68, Dothan at 74, Phoenix City at 73, and Huntsville at 72. Seeing our current temperatures around the southeast, we see most everyone is experiencing very warm temperatures. Even we have the tip of Florida going into the 80s, and also as well for the tip of Texas. And current temperatures around the United States, we see the north tip of Maine is even experiencing very, very cold weather, even some in the teens, and also as well for the Midwest, they're also seeing those very cool temperatures in the 30s and the 40s. And our temperature change over the past 24 hours, we see most everyone has dropped a whole lot over the past 24 hours. A lot of this is due to rain. All of these bad storms coming through has caused the temperature to drop a significant amount. And our current surface for the United States, we see all these pressure systems developing out in the west, so we can look for those to come more our way in the next few weeks. And looking closer into our area, we see this cold front pushing all of the storms that we're going to be seeing over the next weekend. We'll be seeing all of those storms due to this cold front and causing lots of wind, so be very careful on the road. Our precipitation forecast for the next 48 hours, we could be seeing up to a half an inch to an inch of rain all over the state of Alabama and pretty much all over the southeast, unless you're planning on traveling into the Florida Peninsula. Just be very careful as you're traveling and keep that umbrella and rain boots on hand. Looking into Friday, we see lots of rain in our area, and if you're planning on traveling up north into Tennessee or in the northern part of Alabama and Mississippi, be prepared for very, very severe weather. And same for Saturday, just rain in our area, lots of rain all across the eastern coast. And Sunday, it should be moved out of our area for the most part, except for in the southern tip of Florida. And Monday, all out of our area, so we can be ready for very, very warm weather and sunny skies. And looking at tonight's forecast, we have isolated thunderstorms, overcast skies with a 30% chance of rain, wind coming in from the south-southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour with a low of 63. Looking at tomorrow's forecast, we see cloudy overcast skies with a 10% chance of rain, winds coming from the south-southwest at 15 miles per hour with a high of 76. In our class outlook, we'll be experiencing temperatures in the mid-60s all the way up into 75 for the most of the afternoon, so enjoy your day outside. And taking a look at our four-day forecast, we see for the most part we're going to be experiencing very warm temperatures, lots of rain for the weekend, and cool nights. That rain's going to be definitely cooling off our weather for the weekend, so be very careful if you're going to be outside throughout the weekend. So keep your rain gear on hand.
Yeah, and Saturday looks pretty rough, so we got to watch out for that.
It does. Severe weather.
Thanks a lot.